Hello, math learners. Hassan here. Today, we are stepping up our game and delving into the realm of two-step equations. Think of it as the next step in your algebraic journey. In this video, we'll see the strategy behind solving them. So, let's start. A two-step equation is an algebraic equation that takes two steps to solve. Usually over here, we'll have a combination of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So the trick here is first, we'll try to add or subtract the same number. And the second step is to use division or multiplication by the same number. With these two steps, we can get the variable isolated. Now let's see some practice examples over here. So the first example we have is 2x plus 5 equals 21. So first we'll try to add or subtract. In this case, we can see the variable part 2x and 5 are separated by an addition sign over here. So we'll need to use subtraction. So we have 2x plus 5 minus 5 on the left side and minus 5 on the right side. By simplifying, we get 2x equals 16. So these 5 and these 5 cancel each other out. And 21 minus 5 equals 16. Now we can use either multiplication or division. So the trick here is 2 and x are in multiplied form. So we use division. So dividing by 2 gives us x equals 8. 16 over 2 is x equals 8. This is how we solve the two steps equation. Let's look at another example. We have negative 3x minus 8 equals negative 20. Again, we'll be using the same strategy. We can see that this variable portion and the constant term are separated by a subtraction sign. So we add 8 on both sides. Adding 8 gives us negative 3x equals negative 12. We can see that negative 20 plus 8 reduces to negative 12. Now we use division property over here because negative 3 and x are in multiplied form. So divide by negative 3. So x equals 4. This is how we solve the two steps equation in algebra. So here is an exception for two-step equation. If you have a two-step equation where we have a grouping symbol such as fraction bar, we first need to get rid of this fraction bar, and we do this by multiplying both sides of the equation by the denominator. So here is an example. We have v plus 9 over 3. Now according to the rule, we cannot subtract 9 from both sides because v plus 9 is on the fraction bar. We need to get rid of this fraction bar first, and we do this by multiplying both sides by 3. So when you multiply by 3, these 3 cancel out over here. We have v plus 9 equals 24. Now we subtract 9 from both sides. Subtracting 9 from both sides gives us v equals 15. This is how we solve the two-step equation having fraction bar. Let's do some practice problems to gain more efficiency on this concept. So let's see how to solve these two problems over here. We'll be using these strategies for solving two-step equations. So if there is no grouping symbols, we'll be using addition or subtraction first. And then in the second step, we'll be using multiplication or division. So let's look at this. Number 1, we have negative 19 plus 7b equals 261. So we have this 7b, which is a variable with a coefficient, and we have this negative 19, which is a constant. So we first need to add or subtract this constant so that I just get the variable part isolated. So in this case, I can see that 19 has a negative sign in front. So if I do add 19 on both sides, I get 7b equals 280. Now that I have the variable part isolated, I need to get rid of the 7 from the left side now. Now we apply the second step, which is multiply or divide both sides of the linear equation. Now we just divide both sides by 7 because 7 is multiplied with this variable part. So the opposite operation or the inverse operation of multiplication is division. So you divide by 7. So once you divide by 7, this 7 cancels out. We get b equals 40. Perfect. Now let's try to see how to solve number 2. Here we have negative 16 minus 3m equals negative 7. So these steps are pretty much the same. We need to get rid of this negative 16 from the left side first. So you need to do addition or subtraction. In this case, we always look for the sign in front of the digit. So in this case, we can see that we have a negative sign. So we add 16 on both sides. If we add 16 on both sides, this cancels out. We have negative 3m equals negative 7 plus 16 is 9. Now the second step is we multiply or divide. So in this case, we need to do division because we have a multiplication operation here, negative 3 times m. So we divide both sides by negative 3. We get m equals negative 3. Perfect. Let's look at number 3 here. We have 8 times, within parentheses, n plus 4 equals negative 160. In this case, we can see that we have a grouping symbol right here. So in this case, we cannot add or subtract these 4 because 4 is within the grouping symbol. So we need to get rid of this 8. So since 8 is multiplied with this grouping symbol part, n plus 4, we need to do division first so that we can get rid of this 8. So here we apply these second strategies. So divide both sides by 8. If we do divide both sides by 8, we get n plus 4. Remember, 8 over 8 is 1. And 1 times n plus 4, this is just n plus 4 because this is a multiplicative identity. Anything times 1 is just anything. So 1 times n plus 4 is just that n plus 4 term. So we can get rid of this parenthesis. So now n plus 4 is equal to negative 20. Now we can do the addition subtraction operation here. So I need to get rid of this 4. So look at the sign in front of the digit, which is plus. I need to do minus 4 on both sides. So I get n equals negative 20 minus 4, negative 24. Okay, let's look at number 4 here. Negative 7 plus 6n equals negative 139. We don't have any grouping symbol, so I can start off with this negative 7. So I need to do addition or subtraction first. So look at this sign in front of 7. We have a negative sign, so we add 7 on both sides. So we just have 6n. Remember that 6n has a plus sign in front, so it's just positive. So negative 139 plus 7, that is negative 132. We divide both sides by 6. We get n equals negative 22. Okay, let's look at number 5 here. We have negative 20 plus 17n equals negative 105. So we follow the same strategy. First, remove these 20. And we need to add 20 on both sides. If you add 20 on both sides, we have 17n equals negative 85. Now we divide both sides by this coefficient, which is 17. So divide both sides by 17. And we get n equals negative 5. Number 6, we have -2 minus -18n equals 538. So again, we apply the same strategy. We just add 2 on both sides. If we add 2, we have a minus sign, so that's gonna be -18n equals 540. Now we divide both sides by the coefficient of the variable. So in this case, we have -18n equals 540. Divide both sides by -18. And we get n equals -30. Perfect. Number 7 has a grouping symbol. We can see we have -18 within parentheses -4 plus r, parenthesis close, equals 612. So we first need to get rid of this -18, which is outside of the parentheses. So since this is a multiplication, we need to do division here. Divide both sides by -18. So this cancels out to 1, and 1 times anything is just anything. We have -4 plus r. So remember the multiplicative identity property. -4 plus r equals -34. We have a plus sign and minus sign. So plus and minus, if we divide a plus and minus, we get a minus sign. So now to get rid of this -4, we simply do the opposite operation, which is +4 on both sides. We get r equals -30. Perfect. Now number 8, we can see that we have -10 plus k over 15 equals -11. We can see that we have a fraction bar right here, but this fraction bar is not covering this -10. So this fraction bar is already simplified, k over 15. So in this case, we can do the addition or subtraction first, but we can also do this other way. We can also get rid of this denominator first and then do the addition subtraction in the second step. So we'll show both ways so that you can get the idea how to simplify this sort of problem. So here we have, we'll follow the general strategies first. We first add or subtract this number. Here I can see that I have a negative sign in front of 10. So I can add 10 on both sides. If I do add 10 on both sides, I have k over 15. So this cancels out. -11 plus 10 is -1. Now I can do the multiplication on both sides. So multiply both sides by 15. Remember that this fraction bar means division. So multiply both sides by 15. You have k equals -15. Now let's see the other strategies. If any equation has a grouping symbol, we can multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator. So I have this -10. So I have this -10 plus k over 15 equals -11. So multiply both sides by this denominator. In this case, I can see that denominator is 15 right here. So I multiply both sides by 15. So that means I need to do a distributive property here. So if I do distribute 15 with -10, I get -150. And this 15 times k over 15, we just get k equals -11 times 15, we get -165. Now we can simply get rid of this -150. We add 150 on both sides. So k equals negative 165 plus 150, which is negative 15. We can see that both are giving us the same answer. As long as you follow these strategies, you get the same answer. Perfect. And there you have it. We unlocked the mastery of two-step equations. In our next video, we'll continue our exploration and we'll learn about multi-step equation. That's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.